Attraction is something that occurs around you every single day. The problem with this is that many people ignore their attraction to someone, which means that a relationship often goes begging. In most cases, men are too scared to make a move or even approach a woman. And since women don't make the first move, everyone moves on. But what if there was a set of cues that women could give off, telling you when to make a move and whether or not it is viable to make a move at any specific point? Well, fortunately, women are not as complex as you might think. And in some cases, every woman would give you a couple of signs, which show whether or not she's attracted to you. Do all women share the same signals? For the most part, behavior in women is universal. You see, it all comes down to how the person is wired and whether or not they allow their emotions and hormones to take over when making the decisions. However, there are a couple of exceptions, and these are generally influences and ideologies that they have grown up with. One of the main influencing factors to how a woman would show she's interested stems from the influences she had while growing up. Some women grew up in a very modest and prude household, which means they often seek security before anything else. On the flip side, women who didn't have any influence of self-control tend to follow their direct biological urges, and in many cases, these signs are straightforward to spot. In fact, some women might even be the first to make the move. But aside from all this, the one thing that remains true is that when a woman does have sexual attraction toward you, there are a couple signs that she would use to show you that she's interested. The next question is how you should react whenever you spot this. Unfortunately, this is a case-by-case scenario, and it is impossible to be fully prepared for everything or every nuance that a woman comes up with. For the most part, you want to get to know them as soon as possible, which allows you to establish a baseline. Once you have the baseline completely figured out, you can pick up on various deviations. But we will create an even deeper video if you let us know in the comments, and we can look at various archetypes of women and how each shows their attraction towards men. For the sake of this video, we will focus on the common signs that women give off when they are sexually attracted. Even if you don't have such a close grasp of who she is, these signs will most commonly give you a decent way to understand her. Let's dive in. Number 1. Keeping the space at a minimum. You see, a woman will rarely fall in love with someone they trust. In fact, trust, even when it's fabricated, is the glue that often leads to some attraction between a man and a woman. One thing you're bound to notice is that she will automatically try to be as close to you as possible. She does this to keep herself safe and show every man that she already has an interest in someone. You will commonly notice this in a variety of ways. First of all, you will see that she tends to come to stand right next to you in conversations, often only talking when you give her the opportunity. She will try her utmost at all events and social gatherings to be as close to you as possible. But this goes even deeper, and you often notice it when you sit down. You see, a woman who's attracted to you will try to sit as close to you as possible, and if she doesn't find space, she'll even sit on your lap. The idea is for her to give you a signal that she wants to be with you, or at least as close to you as possible. Once you notice this, it is your job to try to keep her as close to you as possible, as this will ensure that she feels comfortable. You see, if she doesn't yet feel comfortable, it is very rare to expect her to move on to some of the other signs that show she likes you. Number 2, allowing you to lead the conversation. Nowadays, women have very strong opinions, but they avoid speaking their opinions until they're allowed to by their partner. The world of women's empowerment is aiming to change this, but women are biologically programmed to allow men to take the lead in conversations. One way you can notice this is how she reacts when someone tells a joke. A woman who's interested in you would often give you a quick glance to see how you respond. This means that she'll not give any reaction to the joke unless she sees you laughing, which is one of the clearest indications of respect and attraction. Additionally, having a one-on-one conversation with a woman who likes you is very easy. She might react in various ways, as you will see in the next sign, but for the most part, she'll allow you to talk about your dreams and goals, hanging on every word as you speak. Once she notices that you've run out of things to say, she will start asking questions. You see, the main goal is to get you to keep talking, and whenever she notices that you seem happy talking, she will hang on to every word you utter. Once you've reached this level of keeping her attention, you can be pretty sure that she's heavily attracted to you. The reason for this is that with the advent of social media, the attention span of society has dropped dramatically. In layman's terms, people are continually seeking quick stimulation. If she can delay her own stimulation to listen to you, she is certainly doing this in a way of showing you just how interested she is. Number 3. Subtle insults. If you can turn back your memory to the days of school, you probably remember just how passive-aggressive everyone was when they liked someone. Boys and girls would often subtly insult each other, not as a way of breaking down the other person, but in trying to garner some kind of a reaction. Women would often insult you subtly and even go after some of your goals. But this will be done in a very playful tone of voice and with a calm attitude. The response she's looking for is for some banter, and it is some of this banter which often creates some of the intensity, which leads to the spark in the relationship. Subtle insults that do not directly offend you and come across as playful are a very powerful sign of attraction. In fact, you might notice yourself doing the same. You see, the last thing you want from anyone in your life is something that's called indifference. The moment you get an indifferent reaction from someone, you can be pretty sure they don't care. Always make sure you can spot this banter, and if you have the charisma, you can dish out a little of your own. This will increase the level of intensity between the two of you, which often helps to instigate even more attraction. Number 4. Receiving compliments. One rarity that almost never happens is when a woman chooses to dish out a compliment out of her own accord. You see, the complexity of life has made it so complicated that women are kind of afraid to dish out different compliments, and this can cause some severe frustration from men. However, there's an actual reason why women refrain from complimenting men, and this is due to the reaction that many men give when they receive compliments. Men, in general, are so deprived of compliments that whenever they receive one, they often think a woman's interested. This also goes as far as social media. Social media is often used as a platform for people to show off, and many men also use this. However, the moment a woman drops a simple like on one of their posts, they automatically think she's interested and will slide into her DMs. This has stopped many women from speaking their minds and giving compliments. Since women have generally stopped giving people compliments, you can be sure that whenever you receive one, it is generally sincere. But if you're expecting a direct compliment, you might be waiting forever. You see, many women test out the waters first, which is why you'll never hear things like, "You are handsome." In fact, you're more than likely to receive a backhanded compliment as her first for her to test your response. Ideally, you want to make sure that you can simply laugh it off, and when she starts giving you more serious compliments, you can be sure that she's actually interested in you. Number 5. Fast texting responses. Nowadays, the world is a tough and fast-paced place. Due to this fast-paced life, people are slowly moving away from texting and focusing more on achieving or surviving life. It is for this reason that you often see that women don't respond to your text messages. Everyone has become so busy with what they're doing that they only make time to respond to text messages from those they value, and they will often ignore the others. Initially, you might even wait a couple days before she texts back. However, a woman who is sexually attracted to you would want to keep you invested as well. If you notice that she starts texting you more often, or her response rate is almost instantaneous, you know that there is a decent opportunity for her to be truly attracted to you. You should note that her phone is probably being blown up by a variety of people, and she is choosing to respond to you as soon as possible. Yes, attraction in the modern era does start online thanks to numerous dating apps and people choosing to communicate more frequently on social platforms, rather than having conversations in person. But if she always says yes to your dates, it is another sign. Number 6. She dresses to impress. Women don't put in effort if they don't see any payoff, or possible payoff, from investing time and effort into something. In many cases, you will notice that women dress in something comfortable, and she often knows that simply because she's a woman, men will stand in line. However, a woman who likes you will put in a lot more effort, and this is usually to impress someone. If she keeps on putting a ton of effort into her appearance for you, she is trying to make herself as attractive as possible to ensure that you also fall in love. You will notice that she will make more effort with her hair. She might even go out and buy a brand new outfit for this affair. These are signs of sexual attraction, and she actually wants you to notice all the effort she's putting in. Make sure to give a couple compliments, and you'll make her feel so proud that she will always continue doing so. This is also when you can start considering making your move. If you don't, she'll move on. Women have a ton of options. They don't need to wait for one to actually make a move. Number 7. Her demeanor changes around you. People always have a baseline personality, and this is how they most commonly treat those around them. You see, women will want to have everyone know them for the personality they present to the world. But in many cases, this is nowhere near who they truly are. If you notice that the moment she sees you, her personality changes, you can be sure that there is certainly some form of deeper attraction on the horizon. She might have a very extroverted personality, but could become a total introvert when you're around. This generally happens when a woman is very attracted to you, but she has also gained a lot of respect. When she does this, she's becoming a submissive and will allow you to take the lead and be the more extroverted. Make sure that you always understand that a woman who likes you might not treat you the same as she treats other men. She might come across as cold and heartless to others, but will reveal her submissive and feminine personality in front of you. When you notice this, you can be very sure that she's interested in you. Number 8. The hair adjustment. Whilst this one is highly speculative, it is one of the most commonly accepted signs that a woman is interested in you. You might have probably noticed that when a woman is attracted to someone, she might focus on his lips, often playing with her own lips, but more commonly, she will play with her hair. You see, whenever a woman is attracted to someone, she becomes very self-aware. Since she's actually trying to impress the guy, she will want to always look her very best, which is why she might be constantly adjusting her hair. Additionally, she might also play with her hair as a way of soothing herself and alleviating some of the tension. Now, this one is still highly debatable, as numerous surveys with women have proven that this is not always the case, and in some cases, they simply do this out of pure habit. Once again, you want to check if she has a baseline of how she carries herself, and you can notice these small changes stemming from the baseline. Adding to this, a woman who likes you will want to establish touch and break this barrier as soon as she can. For this reason, she might also fiddle with your hair and often run her fingers through it in a very soothing manner. The idea of this is to be as close to you as possible and actually touching you. Number 9. Constantly touching you. We have already alluded to how women react and how they go about touching you, but many men are oblivious to this. You see, women rarely choose to touch a man, simply due to the fact that many men misinterpret this and believe that whenever a woman accidentally touches them, there's attraction. You see, one of the main goals of every woman is to keep men she doesn't want away from her, and since men tend to force themselves upon women, she will try to avoid putting herself into positions where she needs to reject a man. However, if she does genuinely like you, she will try her very best to break the touch barrier, and this often happens through subtle touches that could occur on various places and occasions. Whilst she might not try to seduce you every time, a simple touch on the hand or the arm is her way of communicating that she is ready to take the next step. Now, it is up to you to reinforce that kind of behavior, which often allows her to feel more comfortable. You'll also notice that you can touch her more comfortably without things feeling awkward. So, whenever you notice her with these subtle touches, you can be sure that she's trying to instigate some level of connection. Number 10. She directly flirts with you. The most common way to figure out if she's sexually interested is to see if she's actually flirting with you. The more she flirts with you, the more open and ready she is for something more serious. As with all other signs, women generally refrain from doing anything that would entice someone. However, flirting is often a conscious way of her actually trying to show you that she is ready and heavily interested or invested in you. Now, this doesn't mean that she wants to sleep with you immediately, but the basis of the attraction has formed, and you can focus on this. Flirting generally leads to some more intense reactions between two people, and you want to make sure that you understand this and get to know how flirting can move the direction into a new direction. There are generally two reasons many relationships fail. which are men not noticing signs or misinterpreting signs. This guide should give you a clear indication of how to navigate this complicated social world. But once you've established this kind of reaction, you'll need to understand how seduction works, so make sure to check out this next video.